Ready? Play.
Hi, Vanch.
Hello there, Isabel.
How are you doing? Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, we got a classic matchup here on our hands. So this is kind of the prelude to tomorrow, but
Yeah, it's true. Feels very like 2013 watching these two.
Yeah, I mean they go way back. Like they've played. I think this is their 24th match overall, and they've played like their first meeting was in 2005, and here they are in their late 30s, having gone through so much in terms of their bodies and injuries, and I still have memories of watching them play in the semifinals here, 7 years ago in the semifinal, because I'll always remember that because unfortunately it is the match that broke both of them physically, and they were never really quite the same after that. But
what year was that?
2017. So it was Nadal was already in the finals, but Wawrinka and Murray had this like 5-hour epic semifinal 5-setter.
Right.
But in the 5th set, like Murray basically could not move anymore. I mean, his hip was gone at that point.
Yeah.
And yeah, but here they are. Like they've gone back to challengers. They've grinded their way here, and like.
By the way, what an outfit from Wawrinka! What an outfit!
I mean, doesn't he always?
He always likes the neon colors, right? Like neon, right?
The neon. He's got a big point, by the way. And I just want to say something before we go back to the neon. I listen. I know he's got a big point in the first game, Vanch, but I always felt like this has got Wawrinka in straight sets written all over it, or am I being a bit harsh?
I think we'll probably see more twists than straight sets. I think we could see Murray play a lot better than he did in 2020 when they played in the first round. That one was a blowout, but I don't have confidence in either to win in straights. I'm kind of going for, I think, Wawrinka in 4 or 5. That's
I would agree with that.
If it goes 5, then this could be a bizarre match. I mean, the first game is already over 6 minutes old.
Yeah.
It may be one of those instances like where the first set or the first 2 sets are like really long games, really close points. And then the last set is just,
it's just
a
shutout
shutout.
over the net. It's just, Isabel, it could be just like hitting over the net. It could be me and you, or you and Jack doing a little thing and see how what was it? Medvedev like you are.
Every time I'm on a stream, John mentions this.
Guilty.
Anyway.
By the way, I think that's like a third break point here. I don't know if I'm ahead of you or where I'm at in terms of what you're saying.
I'm about there. I think they just did the second break point.
Yeah.
But I also think I'm going to give Wawrinka the edge in this match.
Yeah.
I hate to say.
On like a faster surface, maybe grass, maybe like a quicker hard court.
Yeah.
I might sort of go the other way, but just with clay and like sort of how difficult it is for Andy, even at his very best on the surface, to kind of hit through it. He doesn't have the natural brute force on both sides that Stan has.
Yeah. And he's a former winner of this Grand Slam, so like he clearly is just more comfortable on clay than others. So,
and he's got the early break. He's got the early break. One love. I mean, there's a couple of other things I would just say that also go for Stan is I've seen some decent clay court form in Buenos Aires from Stan this year. I don't know. I haven't seen much from Andy on this surface. Yeah, if this is on grass, everything changes. Everything changes. But
yeah,
for me, this is Stan territory right now. I mean, if it was Stan against any one of the 32 seeds, I'd be worried, And I was actually sort of joking earlier that Rafa he'd drawn Stan in the first round if that was possible. Well, it would have been possible, but then that would have been great for Rafa. But Stan against Murray, yeah, it's nice, but
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just hope it's not a blowout. I think it'll be.
It could be a blowout. It could be. So I set up blowout for Wawrinka, and you were there going 4 or 5 sets. So,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, 4 or 5 sets for Stan.
Yeah. But it could be a blowout. Could be a blowout.
Could be. Like, I mean, I've seen Wawrinka still like sort of match something close to his physical best for like a set here and there, like this whole year. Like like that match in Buenos Aires against Jari, I think it was, right? Like he was playing really well, and like you know, he's just, the problem has been like nerves in those big situations for him, and like at the end of matches, he hasn't been able to close out a lot of those wins, but he is like pretty competitive still. Even though it's not really showing in terms of the match wins, you know, he only has 2 wins this year, but like.
Yeah, but if you looked at But if you looked at isolated games, and I'm looking at 2 isolated games right now,
yeah,
it could be blowout-ish. It could be 1-2-1 or something today. It really could. Anyway, glad to have all of the people here tuning in for this epic that we're going to see. I don't know if I can see a pathway for Murray to win this match. Oh, look at that forehand, for example, winner there from Murray, from Wawrinka. I mean, Vance, you do these quite a lot on the Tennis One app.
Yeah.
What would be the pathway to a Murray win today, if there is one?
Well, he's gotta serve really well. Like he's gotta be getting a lot more juice out of his first serve than he did in like that first game. So he's really got to use that. And then I think where he's better than Stan is like the auxiliary stuff. So like the variety, the coming in, like the slices. Like if he can draw Stan forward, if he can give him something different, a few different change ups. Because I feel like just going toe to toe with him from the baseline, he's sort of kind of overmatched on both wings. So he's having to really just rely on his defense and like sort of just looping balls back and play, restarting rallies. But I just don't think that's gonna work with the firepower that Murray has and that Stan has. So there is a chance that over the course of 3 sets, you just see a lot more Stan. You see Stan's level maybe dip, and that's when I probably would see Andy maybe in combination with getting inspired, serving better. Like that's where I could see him maybe steal a set. But he's got to be way more proactive than usual. But it's kind of hard for him because he's coming back after the injury that he had in Miami, where actually I thought he was playing pretty well there. Like he almost beat Rinaldi, he beat Echeverry. He was kind of starting to play the kind of tennis that you had hoped to see from him before. But then that injury happened. Then he changed his racket as well, so now he's using a Yonex, like a bigger frame, trying to get more power, more spin. He's like trying these different things, but I don't know how much he really also believes that he can make any sort of run here. He's more still targeting the grass, right?
Yeah. Have you got some? Can you give us some Murray optimism, despite the fact he's 2-love down, Isabel?
Some Murray optimism.
You were at Wimbledon 2 years ago or 3 years ago, was it? You went to Wimbledon?
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was when he lost to Isner, I think, right?
Yes. He seems okay. I am reaching. He seems to be moving well.
Good.
He's like, you know, for someone with a metal hip, he seems to be moving pretty well across the court. But yeah, Wawrinka just seems to kind of be outpowering him right now.
I've just seen an ace as well from Andy Murray, which is it's good to see. He's winning the aces count anyway.
1-0,
sure.
Yeah.
Once. Yeah. By the way, I've neglected the chat. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I see Nerlan and Ghosty are here, and Julian as well. So please do hit the like button. What's going on here? Good afternoon. Yeah, I remember talking about flat balls and. By the way, did you Vance? Did you see the Madison Keys Daniel Collins final at all yesterday, or any highlights from that? Vance?
I did see it. Yeah,
Any
Keys was
thoughts?
that was like peak Keys. I think there wasn't that much Collins could have done. I didn't think it was her sort of best match. Of course, I think she maybe would have been feeling it physically a little bit. Like I sort of have to think the juice wasn't quite there on her ground strokes than I'd seen before. But yeah, I mean, like Keys has now played really well for like 3 tournaments in a row. Only basically lost to Eva. So I think she's coming with a lot of momentum. But I hope she can get to the 4th round and play Sabalenka.
Yeah, me too.
It would tell us a lot.
Could she beat Sabalenka though?
I think maybe. Like she almost beat her at the U.S. Open. You know, it was just
she should have beaten her at the U.S. Open. That was devastating. She absolutely had that match. Ugh.
Yeah.
Still bitter.
Did either of you, maybe you did or didn't, but don't know if you saw, I asked her more or less about that match. I don't know if you saw that, Vance, that she didn't. Well, I know that she didn't take too kindly to the question anyway. After I asked, I didn't specify that match, but I just asked, like, by the way, it's 2-1 here. So Mo's held. So we've got some games on the board, at least for Andy. I just said, like, do these slam close-ish ones, do they linger? Are they an issue? Do you think about them, or do you just brush them off, you know, in Rafa Nadal, like every point matters and all the rest of it? And she gave it a shortish answer, and then I got a sort of a thing saying she wasn't happy about that question. But I don't know. I thought it was justified to just sort of see how players react to do they linger? Do they? Because she asked me. She said, "Well, does it bother you?" I said, "Well, yeah, it does bother me a bit, you know." Because she said, "Are you still thinking about it?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I am still thinking about it, but I wasn't specifically thinking about that loss that you highlighted, Isabel. To this is not me saying, yeah. Anyway." But I think Vance, you're right. She's got a great chance, but I still think Sabalenka probably.
Yeah, I still have Sabalenka coming through it, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like her section actually isn't that straightforward. Sabalenka, she could play maybe Stephens or Badosa in the 3rd round. You know, that looks tough, and then same with Keys in 4th.
Yeah, she's got the toughest of the 4. She's got the 1. You know, Rybakina, we just. I don't know if we know where we're at with her, and Coco for me has maybe the kind.
I'm going to get burned by Rybakina again. She's the only one of the 4 seeds I didn't pick to the semis.
You didn't pick Rybakina to get the semis?
No, I didn't. I somehow talked myself into thinking. I somehow talked myself into thinking that Junction Wen could go big this time, and I picked her in the semis.
Look at this. Have you seen this? Have you seen this, Vance? Look at this little thing I've got going on here. That just I'll just put it on as well every now and again. I've also got it misspelt as well. I misspelt it once when I was trying to write it, and I got that option as well.
Yeah, is that a little passing shot by Andy on the back?
Yeah. I saw you get distracted by that. Yeah. Yeah, but now Vance is going to dominate. He's going to dominate this one. Oh no, you don't do that. How are you with Vance? How are you with overheads as a player? You okay with the overhead?
Oh, sometimes I struggle with them, especially if it's like either the sun is like directly in my eyes, or there's like, you know, those lights at night, like
on Philippe Chatrier.
Yeah, probably even nicer. No. Yeah, and at that point, I'm just like, okay, whatever. The point is restarting now. I'll just let it bounce.
Oh, really? Oh, I
Yeah.
see. You'll let it bounce. Yeah.
I have that little Djokovic thing going on where I decelerate a little bit.
Oh,
on
the Joker
the
smash.
Yeah.
The Vanch smash.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
like that doesn't happen on the serve, but it happens on the overhead.
Hello. I'm going to take the bold.
Oh, hey.
Hello, Van. Hello, Andre.
How's everybody doing?
We're doing all right. We're just a bit fearful, I think, of a Wawrinka sort of blowout, but we've got 15:30 here, so that maybe helps a little bit.
It's
By the way,
going to be entertaining regardless.
Yeah, it already is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to, because I do not know what happened to Hubie Hurkacz, but I'm guessing he won. I'm going to Google it right now. I know he was going into a fifth set, and he did win. Yes, I thought he might. Yeah. I saw he was 2-1 down, but then I saw he won the fourth set 6-love, and that was the last I saw from Hubie Hurkacz's match. And yeah, he did win 6-3 in the fifth.
Yeah.
Not sure
I
if
didn't
that
see a
gives
point
you
of that
a
one,
sign.
but I'll tell you what, the next match he's playing Brandon Nakashima, so I will be interested in that.
Oh, and you know him, don't you?
I do.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, you're friends.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's
So
texting
hopefully
you.
that'll be at a reasonable hour, so I can catch some of it.
Oh, that is the rough thing. I tried to stay up last night to watch some of these, and I couldn't do it. But I'm gonna really try tonight because I need to see, the match that we're all waiting for. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get up at 3:00 in the morning and do it.
I think there's a lot to be said on that match, and we will talk about it in a minute or so. But we've had 2 break points for Andy Murray, one of which has gone awry. Let's see how the second one goes. That's a pretty average serve, let's say, from Wawrinka. It goes wide. So it's a second serve here. And Murray's going to, yeah. Where are you at?
It just went, Wawrinka made a really nice cross-court forehand, and Andy netted it.
Yeah, maybe
to get to 40 all.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, I'm at juice as well now.
Yeah.
I think you unusually and crazily, Isabel, you are a few seconds ahead of me. And by the way, I'm normally behind. But so, what channel are you watching on? Is it not Tennis Channel, Isabel?
So it is Tennis Channel. For those interested, Tennis Channel recently revamped and redid their whole kind of look and their system and the way they're putting up the French Open.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to last for the whole tournament because I know a lot of other companies in the US have streaming rights to the French Open. So I don't know how long this will last, but they do have all of the matches on right now, which is nice. But I couldn't get it to load. I couldn't log in to Tennis Channel on my computer to do a dual screen. So I had to move into the living room and put it on the television. But that's working, so I'll take it. But yeah, it's still glitching, even though they seem to have improved their system.
But yeah, you're ahead. I just saw an Andy Murray attempt at the sort of a sort of 2010, 2015 lob, but it didn't quite. Yeah, it wasn't quite. It was more 2024.
Yeah.
Hey, Andre, how are you anyway?
I'm good. Yeah. Bit of a headache today, but I'm fine. It's good that I have 4 people on the stream, so I don't have to talk as much.
Yeah, you can just chip in every now and again.
Yeah.
Just chip in every now and again.
2 Canadians.
I'm actually doing. Yay.
2 Canadians. Yeah.
It's about basically represents everybody because you lived a while in the UK as well, right? So
I did. Lived in the UK, live in the US, lived in Canada. I'll be in Canada in a couple of weeks also. Yeah, I'm the everywhere man,
Are you gonna come to Toronto or?
Yeah, I'll be in Toronto for a couple of days.
If you come by Montreal, let me know.
Maybe. I'd love to. I haven't been there in years.
Andre, what's that you're drinking there? Is that a little tea,
Coffee.
a little cheeky tea? A little coffee, okay. So the spoon, you got a spoon hanging out there.
Yeah, I just kind of don't like to have the little just like the rest of the coffee sit at the bottom. So
you like
I
to-
just kind of like to stir a little bit, so I get the most out of the caffeine that I put into this.
Andre, by the way, he loves that brick wall background. I think, Andre, I've never seen you on any stream without the brick. And it's fine. You can do whatever you want, but you love that. You love that brick wall,
Yeah.
right?
The first time that I did it was basically because my background was really ugly, and it was around the time of Roland Garros anyway, so I decided
wow.
to keep it because it kind of was
Perfect.
thematic. And right now, I
Yeah.
just kind of feel like this is my thing, and I'll keep it.
Yeah. It is your thing.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about the French Open for me? I don't know why this is, but every year since like, I don't know, 2016, 2015, something like that, every year when the French Open is on, I'm always in the process of moving. And I end up not being able to watch for like an entire week because I'm moving to a new house, driving across the country, flying across the country, something like that. And the same thing is happening this year. So I'm missing the entire second week of Roland Garros again because I'm moving.
Mm.
I don't know why
Wow.
that is.
Just moving houses
Every year.
or
Yeah,
just
I have work in New York this summer, so I'm
Oh.
moving to New York for the summer, but missing the second week for like the 8th time in a row.
Oh no.
I've got Roland Garros radio that will keep me company.
I mean, Isabel, there are other outlets that are talking about the French Open. Don't forget us.
Yes, but I'll be like driving. I can't I can't watch anything while I'm driving.
I know, but just don't forget about.
I won't forget about you. I won't forget about you guys.
All right. Good to know. I'm just watching. I'm just having a quick look at some other result or scores going in. Krejcikova, yeah, she's in a 5-all situation with Golubic. Of course, Vanch and Krejcikova, they go back a long way in San Diego and all that stuff. Clara Towson won straight sets today over Tatiana Maria. It's kind of interesting. Are there any other results from today, Vanch, that sort of grab you and go, oh my goodness me, what was going on there?
Well, there was the Kostyuk versus Pigossi.
Last I saw that was 1 set all, I think.
But then Pigossi was up 4-love add in to go up 5-love in the third. And Kostyuk came all the way back and won. So
do you think that was nerves or like mostly Kostyuk's game that pulled it together? Because I think it's Pigossi's first main draw of a Grand Slam even.
Pigossi was making it pretty tough because she was getting a ton of balls back, like throwing in a lot of different looks, and like Kostyuk wasn't really on it for like a good portion of the first set. But then she raised her level, she won the first set, and it looked like she was going to win in straights. But then she started struggling with something physical, so she looked a little out of sorts. She was like double faulting a few more times than usual, and it just looked like the match was going to slip away from her. But what saved her is actually that rain delay, because she was down before that, and then the rain delay happened and 4-2 and everything, and then she managed to regroup and then was just a totally different player for like the next 4 or 5 games, and then won. But she hasn't really taken any like really bad losses all year, so that would have been one that like I'm expecting sort of her to get to third round and face Danielle Collins, because I would like to see that. I would like to see that.
Yeah, that would be fun. And by the way, I think she was down a break in the first set as well.
She was 4-2 down in the first. Yeah. But apart from that, I mean, there was the Hubie result where he was 2-1 down, but then that evaporated pretty quickly, and he won that last 2 sets pretty comfortably. Well, actually, right now, Nicholas Jarry just lost the first set 6-2 against Mute. So that is, and like I know Mute is an absolute nightmare to play, especially with the French crowd. Yeah, and he's already beaten Nico earlier this year in Santiago. And like everyone's sort of expecting big things from Jarry after the Rome, right? And like at least get to the 4th round and play Sinner. But he has a pretty tough draw. Like he has Sebastian Baez in there. I think his second round isn't easy either. I forget who it is, but
I'm just going to share my power rankings at the bottom of the screen, where I have Nicholas Jarry at number 9.
Oh yeah, I would have him around like 9 to 12 as well. Like
yeah,
I don't think I would. I'd be surprised if he got past the quarters, but I would also be, would also be somewhat.
After seven, Rublev, I think you could just go anywhere with that. Really, it's like the
Yeah.
women's after 5. You can just go anywhere with that.
Do you put Rune in the power rankings out of respect, or do you actually believe that is a
Out of potential? Yeah.
Potential. Yeah, he has a lot more potential than a lot of the players in the.
Nah, I think y'all are crazy.
But I don't have him in the top 10 because of the form.
Yeah.
Fine, and that's okay. I mean, I think there's for me on the women's side, for example, it's like, well, which order you have the first? Well, I mean, you're obviously going to have Swiatek first, and then, well, where do you put Sabalenka? Where do you put Rybakina? Where do you put Collins? Where do you put Goff? Fine, But after like the first 5 on the women's side, you could, oh, look at that forehand from Wawrinka. That was wild. You could do whatever. And on the men's side, to be honest with you, of course, if you had Novak at 6, I would be going, what the hell are you talking about? Or if you had Sinner at 7, but yeah, I mean, you can do after the first 3, maybe, no, first 4. You got to have Zverev in the first 4, right, Vanch?
Yeah, I don't know whether to put him. Yeah, I think I have him at 4 right now.
I mean, you could put him 3. If you had him in 2, I'd be like, But yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Andre?
Talking about power rankings, like out of strictly who I think would be the favorite. I mean, I guess like some matches already took places today. Like Alcaraz already won pretty convincingly his first match.
But that's not
I would say probably Alcaraz would be the number 1, like in my power ranking.
Okay.
And I would probably put Zverev a bit higher, even though I don't like the idea. But it's been in terms of form, in terms of form, it's just been playing well, And he will normally beat all the players that he should beat, although it's in a 5-set match. I don't know. His history in Grand Slams is kind of poor, but yeah.
It is. But his history in Grand Slams is poor, but we also sort of expect, in a way, him to get to quarters and semis and occasionally a final.
Normally he does that,
Yeah.
I know that we'll have more to say about it like during his actual first round match, but if he does get past the first round, who would he meet in the quarters potentially? Who would be able to take him out is more my question.
Well, if Rune plays really well in the and gets to the 4th round, and all of a sudden he's looking great, like
no, but we were talking about Zverev, I think, but right?
Yeah, who could take out?
Rune is in there, yeah.
Rune is in the 4th round versus Zverev, and then I think his 2nd round is like Pechikard or Goffin. I don't really see it there. Like 3rd round, Darderi, Greek Sport. I don't really see it there either. So it would have to be after the 4th, probably like Khachanov, Rune. I think Rune at his best probably has the best shot.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on what Rune is showing up, really.
He might struggle a little bit against Khachanov, but he's probably going to come through it.
What did anyone know what happened with Rude's first match? It got canceled.
Oh
yeah, that's because Jakub Mensik pulled out. So he has a different first round opponent now.
But there wasn't a lucky loser, so he just pulled out, and there was no lucky loser for it.
No, there is, I think.
That's the lucky loser, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was a late situation.
Yeah, he has Davidovich Fokina potentially in the 2nd round, which would be interesting.
He's going to play Felipe Alves anyway. So yes, I think it's interesting. I think Rude should and probably will win both his first round and his 2nd round against Davidovich Fokina. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking for in the 1st or 2nd round. You go, so it's like we all expect Djokovic and Alcaraz and everyone else to progress. But when we see that Alcaraz is playing JJ Wolf, we're going, oh, okay. Or when we see the first couple of rounds for Novak, we're going, oh, okay. Yeah. So we just want to see a bit of there's Marochan, or there's Struff or something like that. And then you go, oh, that could be tricky. And the person who's got that route, that could be interesting, who's got that route is Medvedev. every match for him is like, oh, well, that could be tricky. And that's Medvedev as well, who we think it could be tricky for anyway.
Yeah, I didn't. Who does Medvedev play in the first round? Oh, Dominic Kupfer. Yeah, actually, that could be kind of tricky. Yeah.
Right. Then I think Montero is a potential second round for him, and it's just constant. Oh, it could be.
But if he gets to that Zverev match in the quarters,
well, then Zverev beats him.
Then maybe, but I make Zverev the favorite. But I think also given their history, like given how often Medvedev ends up out clutching him, and like I don't know, there's some hope there.
I don't think it's as likely on clay though.
Right.
Zverev is the better player. I would think that, and I know that they're on opposite sides, but I think Ruud would have a better shot at taking out Zverev.
He would
because didn't he? I think he did last year, right? In the
they would have to play in the semis.
Yeah,
last year he beat him pretty bad in the semis. So
yeah,
but then Ruud would have to get by Djokovic, and Djokovic has a lot of question marks himself. So
that semi felt a bit weird. That Ruud. I think it was partly because we'd all been, or me in particular anyway, but I think we all were all just sort of building up for that Alcaraz Djokovic match. And then it was like, okay, so who's losing to Djokovic in the final?
It kind of reminded me of 2013 with like the Ferrer Songo was the second semi, and like the first semi was Djokovic Nadal, and then like they both were like Songo came out super flat in that second semi, and like kind of didn't bring his game at all, and like Ferrer was in the final, and then
Zverev's level last year was a different level. I think this year we are looking at, for the first time, that we've seen a sort of 2022 Zverev. As I see Murray put a forehand into the net, and we're looking at a potential double break here now for Wawrinka.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, yes, 40 love 40. Excuse me.
Vash, what do you think Murray should do to try to get into this match?
Well, he made some progress in like that 2-1 game. He started blocking a lot more returns back. Like he got them really short, sort of close to the net, so that he could do some of his really good counterattacking and like throw up some lobs or like give Stan like something a little bit different, rather than just sort of trading from the baseline and just relying on his defense. But he has to serve really well as well, because like right now he's not really getting like this kind of a point right now, like with the serve +1. He's got to be like making some progress, at least like making Stan stretch out, move a little bit, especially on the backhand. I kind of think of like the auxiliary stuff. That's where like Murray is a lot better at, like his court craft, his IQ, sort of like mid-court tennis. But if they're just going toe-to-toe from the baseline, that's where Stan can just overpower him, and his shots are much heavier, and it's like much more in his racket.
It's a tricky one, I think. I mean, that last point was perfect, as you said, but you got to get your serve in like that. And by the way, if you turn up at your local tennis club with the outfit that Wawrinka's wearing, then no big deal. But you've got to be winning your matches, right? Wearing that. Oh, that's nice there. You can't just turn up and lose 6-love, 6-1, basically wearing what Wawrinka's wearing.
No, nothing like those iconic shorts though in 2015.
Oh wow!
I don't know. Why did everybody hate those shorts? Because like I
really like them.
It's not hate. It's not hate.
But no, I hear so much from people. They're like, "Oh, but those shorts in 2015, the check shorts. Like, what was he thinking?" And I'm like, I don't get it.
People are just coming out of an age of Federer where everything is like solid colors and very minor details. So like class is the thing, and then Stan comes out of the left field with like this checkered shorts and and then wins Roland Garros, by the way. Like that was like
he did win Roland Garros with those shorts. Yeah.
Those shorts are like iconic. I think you can buy them for a pretty high, ridiculous price at like a museum in France or something. And then he brought them to his press conference as a joke later, which was funny.
Oh my
God.
And
he also did them in a I think what do they call them? Instagram conversation they had. He showed them as well.
Yeah.
That was a bit of an epic.
He said those shorts still haunt me to this day.
Who said that? Novak did, or
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I feel like there's no better it's probably the simplest fit ever, but I think there's not a fit that was better than Federer's all black US Open. I think that's like the best
Darth Vader one.
I've ever
The Darth
seen.
Vader
It's
one was
so
nice.
nice.
Yeah, 2007. Yeah.
I did really like his kit for the 2017 Australian Open. I really liked Federer's kit. It was like that kind of striped thing.
I know the one. I know the one.
Yeah, it's a good one. He always had the best kits.
Isabel, sorry, but I'm not a fan of that one.
I liked it. I liked it. I liked that at the Australian Open, they always kind of do like crazy, colorful patterns and all that stuff.
He had a similar one for Indian Wells, I think, as well, like a same one but different colors. Badge, I think, a couple of months later.
It was a green, right? Yeah, it was a green one.
Green and black. Yeah.
I didn't like the green and black.
But I like the Australian one better. I'm with Isabel. Yeah, the Australian one was a better look for sure.
I mean, the match point against Rafa when he's like, there's the challenge from Rafa, but Rafa does the whole. But again, I think Rafa's outfit, was a bit better. Maybe they should have done that for the match point. So, well, who's got the better outfit? And I'd have gone, Rafa. Anyway, Murray holds for 3-4, so that puts a bit of pressure on Stan.
Yeah.
I mean, but the Rafa outfit, white, black, little bit of orange on there. I remember that in that final. I thought it was a pretty good.
I think Rafa should bring back the long trousers and sleeveless.
That would be great. Oh, by the way,
and the long hair, right?
Yeah. Well, we might have give us a few months on that. Moutet has won that first set over.
They do not like each other. They have a lot of beef. I mean, to be fair, I bet a lot of players don't like Moutet, but
Vanch, you and I were texting about this late at night for me, but it was probably like lunchtime for you recently about Moutet, and you say a lot of players don't like Moutet. I gotta. You think he knows what he's doing with this sort of gambit, with the so we were talking about the coffee thing in particular. I don't know if you saw this, Isabel, the coffee thing with Moutet a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I think he basically was saying it was like 1 a.m. in Madrid. Classic Madrid. Let's have a tennis match at 1 a.m. And Moutet was saying, "Can I have some coffee?" And the umpire was saying no. And then he basically got some coffee from someone in the stadium. I think just offered him a shot of coffee.
Oh, well, you should probably be careful with that because the anti-doping,
Well, it's not. Coffee is okay. Anyway, but I was talking to you when Vanch a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, well, I mean, it's kind of funny, and you're like, but he's got a reputation for mixing things up, shall we say?
Yeah.
And you think
was it Moutet that intentionally dropped? Go ahead.
Go on.
Sorry.
No, Andre.
I was say, you. Wasn't it Moutet that like intentionally dropped his ball out of his pocket so that he could like replay the point?
Oh, that was Hugo Gaston.
Oh, it was Gaston. Yeah.
Yeah, and the challenger. I remember that. That was that was not.
That was wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's fun to watch in these early first rounds and majors and masters.
Lovely backhand down the line there from Stan. So anyway, he's Moutet, But I wasn't. Maybe I just took Moutet at face value on that moment with the coffee and just thought, wow, he just. Yeah.
Then there was that match was wild. There were so many things that happened. Like there was like someone sprayed water like on an outside court and like. and then like he was like, what am I doing? I can't play, I'm wet. And then there was that point at 5-1 in the tiebreak where he just dropped his racket and like
and he loses the match, right? In the end, Moutet, he loses that match.
He loses, It was like 4 hours against Jerry Shank.
Yeah.
All right, but real talk, does anybody ever have trouble seeing the ball on a clay court? For real. Because a lot of people brought back the blue clay, and some people are like,
yeah.
I think Madrid is hard, right? Because of the
shadow.
Because of the shadow, it makes it really difficult. Yeah.
Honestly, it's never been a thing for me, Andre, until I start. But on the phone, it can be on the phone, maybe with a but on a normal screen, honestly, it's never been a thing now.
I think I have more trouble on grass with seeing it than I do on clay.
With Hala, yeah, that I remember that tournament.
With the lovely shot volley there from Wawrinka for 5-3. Yeah, no, Andre, honestly, I haven't. No, in all the years of watching tennis on all the surfaces, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
No.
I did really like the look of blue clay. It's too bad the players weren't a fan, except for Roger. I seem to be the only one that loved it.
Yeah, well, he won the tournament, and he won the tournament that year, right? I think.
Yeah. I don't think anybody else liked it. I don't think Rafa liked it. I think Djokovic didn't like it. Most of the top
How do we feel about Rafa Nadal asking for tomorrow's match to be in the daytime and Roland Garros to say yes?
I mean, why shouldn't it be during the day?
Just Isabel, I'm putting the question out there. Don't Isabel, don't come. You know, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Most of the players ask for stuff, right? And like he's probably gonna get some preferential treatment there. Like I would expect that.
I mean, I feel like Nadal at this stage of his career, not necessarily playing his best, being the underdog against Zverev in the first round match, of what could be possibly his last tournament. If he makes a request at the French Open, they got their hands tied a little bit. Like, what they're gonna do? Say no? Like, I mean, it's gonna be pretty bad on them to say no. So they are kind of in a position that they cannot really deny him to take the match like whenever he wanted to be. If he was asked the match to be the first one of the day, they probably would have given it to him. But that's my opinion, at least.
Vanch, do you want to say one more thing on that? I mean,
no, I mean, playing in the day would give him the best chance.
Well, I get that.
If I was him, I would want that too.
So. Yeah.
Well, if you was Zverev, Vanch, would you have a different opinion?
I don't think it matters that much for him in terms of.
Yeah, I think he's able to play at like a similar level day or night, but I think Nadal is like needs to be as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
They're also probably both traumatized by their night match the last time that they happened.
Yeah, that was with the roof closed, right?
That was with the roof closed, yeah.
That's what made that match so physical. It was like really humid in there, and it was like they just couldn't hit through each other.
Yeah, that was gross to watch.
For less than 2 sets. I feel like if that match had continued, someone would have cramped. Like, there's just no way. Like, it was just so physical.
I was there and Owen too, and Owen said something which I don't necessarily agree with, but I don't disagree with it. I just thought it was an interesting concept, but I couldn't quite get on board with it, which is that he said that what is to do in these situations is have a couple of professionals go out there and test the conditions, and then basically, like, so that closed roof scenario was so sticky and stodgy, and you could have a couple of, he said, and then just basically say, no, we wait until the weather eases off or something, because it's just too sticky. If that makes sense. Murray is held for love, so it's 4-5 or 5-4 for Wawrinka. But the problem I had with that was like, I don't know, it's just a bit subjective, and just get a couple of professionals out here to make a decision whether we can play or not. I get it. It was not welcomed, that semi-final in so many ways. But and maybe the injury was just sort of not waiting to happen, because it was a freakish scenario. But I mean, that match could have gone 5 or 6 hours. What's going on here? So Bergs is beating Tabilo. How about that? Oh, wow. That's what we like to see. Look at that celebration from Berg. Sorry, maybe you're not seeing this.
Actually won.
Yeah, 4 sets. I love how he falls to the ground as though he's won the Grand Slam.
Yeah, Berg, last time I checked, Tabilo had a bunch of set points for 2 sets to love.
Oh, sugar. Okay.
Wait, yeah, he was up 6-3, 5-2, and he served for it. Whoa, he served for the set 3 times. and he had
who did? Tabula?
Yeah, 6 set points, and he was up 5-2 in the tiebreak as well. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess it was all about that second set because after that, I didn't see anything.
But the celebration from Bergs is well, like, I mean, every win is big. And someone chucks him a Belgian flag, and you don't very often see Belgian flags being flustered like that. But anyway, Wawrinka is going to serve for the set here at 5-4. At least this has been respectable, because I was a bit worried for Andy.
Just one break, so.
I kind of think this is a good opportunity for like Grigor Dimitrov. Like, he's my sneaky pick to get to the quarters in this section.
He struggled in the first set. I know he won today comfortably in the end, but he was struggling in the first set. He was down a break actually. But
yeah, Kovacevic, I guess, is
but he should
still win.
Win that easily,
yeah. If he plays Hurkacz in the 4th round, that would be interesting. He's never lost to Hurkacz. It's like 5-0. So that would be kind of cool. But then, wow, Mute is like up a break in the second as well.
Oh God! So look at my power rankings just flying across the bottom of the screen there with Jowie.
I went big on Tabilo as well. I thought he would. I kept hovering between him and Grigor in the 3rd round, and I decided to just go for Tabilo. So didn't work out. But now I think Grigor. Get by that section.
Listen, Wawrinka is 3 points away from winning the first set, but then Murray is also 3 points away from breaking and getting it back on serve.
I guess this is already more competitive than 2020.
But that
low bar, but
that forehand from Murray into the net. I mean, Murray was just starting a bit like Osaka in a way. With both of those players, although very different parts of their career, I know both of them were just starting to build up a good little momentum on a hard court until, in Osaka's case, the clay season arrived, and in Murray's case, an injury occurred.
But Osaka had a pretty good run. Like, that was very positive. She beat like 3 very good players.
She won 3 matches in Rome.
Yeah, she got to the 4th round, and then eventually Junction Wen beat her. But before that, she beat some good players. She beat Kostyuk, I think. She beat Clara Burrell. She beat She beat Kazakina as well. So 3 very good wins.
Okay, didn't realize that. Didn't realize she went that far. I watched her match with Bonzetti today, which was, it's all on her racket, which is probably not a great surprise, but. Anyway, second serve here on set point here for Wawrinka on the backhand that we all have to see, but that's a lovely backhand there for Murray. Should put the volley away and doesn't put it away, but does do enough to win the point. So 40-30. I saw the match with Bonzetti today. I don't know if you know how the 3rd set panned out there, Vanch, but it was wild.
I saw she lost 5 games in a row at one point. She was serving to stay in the match at 4-5.
Yeah, right at 4-5. Yeah. How do you keep up with that then? So obviously this is like 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was for you. So when I just asked you about how that 3rd set panned out as Isabel destroys something or another in. How do you know that was? Do you watch the highlights or how do you?
No, I wish I could watch the highlights, but FFT just doesn't operate. But they don't have any highlights basically. But I'm looking at Flash Score because they have like a point by point thing.
Okay.
And so that shows you like what happened in every game basically. Like it shows a trail of points. So I can see if like they saved 3 break points or how many deuces there were or who had.
What you don't get to see though is the absolute minute specifics of a point. Because you don't see, for example, if somebody just tuned in to you don't see what was an absolutely incredible shot.
But why I like that feature is that then I can go back and like if I want to watch a replay, then like I know what points to watch back because then I know like those were the pressure points. Those were the breakpoint saves. And like I always want to see how they save the breakpoints. I want to see the deuce points. I want to see match points saved. I want to see all the really important points that sometimes highlights just don't do. Like just skip over.
Yeah, they do. They do. You're right.
They'll show the amazing points, but they won't show like the crucial. Like they'll just show if they had highlight reel points. But not really that interested in the highlight reel package. I'm more interested in the. I want to figure out what actually happened tactically.
If you go to the, I don't know if they still do this, but I believe the Grand Slams used to have like the feature when you actually follow the matches on the score center. They actually have a small little description of what happened, like so.
They do. It's like
or like forehand winner.
Forced error at 40 love, unforced error at
Yeah. So it's a pretty detailed. Like I mean,
yes,
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
It didn't matter in the end, but Wawrinka really blew a horrible set point there. I mean, in the end, he wins the first set, so it's not a big deal. But that one where he somehow put it long and Murray was like,
but I'm still feeling optimistic that Murray can get a set at least here.
I don't know. I think
there's enough in that set to where I think
I feel less optimistic even. I think him getting 4 games there was kind of where we're at. He signed up for Surbiton, Murray, so that's the challenger on grass next week.
Okay.
I wish there were more challenges around my area.
I mean, Jerome is going to be there for talking tennis next week, so that's exciting. Kira is going to Queens as well for talking tennis, so a lot of sort of good news. Are you going to go to Cincinnati again, Vanch?
Well, I think that's the plan. It hasn't been confirmed yet. We still have to get approved and everything, but hoping to go to Cincy. I'm hoping to go to the US Open as well for a week. But that's also like, I need to get some good sponsorship money so they can pay for my travel and everything. But the one I am going to is DC. So I'm going.
Oh, you definitely go to. Okay, that's still pretty cool.
I just wish it wasn't clashing with the Olympics. That's the thing.
Is it exactly the same week?
Yeah, it's the same week. So I'm not gonna.
So that's where Ben Shelton will be there while.
Yeah. He's probably the best player we're gonna get in the field, to be honest. I don't even know on the women's side who it's gonna be. Probably the 5th best American will probably be the main draw. I don't know. Which at this point looks like it'll probably be Emma Navarro. So good opportunity for somebody to get 500 points.
Yeah, that's the thing. 500 points.
Yeah. For Shelton's case, I get it. It kind of makes sense. Like he, I think he'd rather play DC, and then next time in 2028 he'll play LA when he's like an actual contender probably.
Oh yeah, LA gets the Olympics again. Yeah. I had it 84.
2028,
Oh, hello. Andy Moe's keeled over. Is he okay? Yeah. I just feel for Murray at this year's French Open and this match anyway. I do think it's a good buy. And he said it a year ago. Now, he may have changed his mind, but even a year ago, so this is long before, his recent comments about retiring in the next few months. A year ago, he said he'd like to go back to the French Open to just say goodbye. And I think this is what his appearances this year is about. Even if he had a dramatic change of mind about the next few months about retiring, I think he's not playing the French Open ever again.
Yeah, I think this is probably the last time we'll see him there.
Yeah.
I didn't even think he was going to play it this year. It seemed very unlikely. After
I think he's probably losing today, and then he's signed up for the doubles with Dan Evans, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess for the Olympics, right? Practice.
Yeah.
No.
I think those lights are annoying, so I'm going to change that.
He said something about not playing much past the summer.
Yeah. He said that in Dubai, wasn't it? I think he said that.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I found
I don't know how serious to take it though. Like I seriously have no idea. I feel like he doesn't know. Clearly,
he seems to be an indecisive person, and I mean, the one little sort of social media narrative, if you like, that gathered pace that I think Andy accentuated as well, that kind of annoyed me was basically no one was necessarily talking about it a lot, but of course occasionally maybe someone would ask Andy, listen, are you retiring anytime soon? And then he's on court unsolicited, basically just says, yeah, I think this is the last few months of my career. He goes to press a few minutes later. Nobody asks him in press, and everyone's going, why didn't you ask him about this? Because nobody knew. I mean, Shrihu was there, and we said, look, we just didn't know about those comments because we're basically seeing him. And then the next day in press, someone says, what were those comments about? And he says, X, Y, Z, a few months. And then, but the social media outrage, and which was also on the back of an article as well written on the BBC, was like, oh, I can't believe you guys are asking him questions about retirement. Why do you keep? And I was like, well, I don't think people really have been asking him that often about the retirement question.
Yeah, I think he was probably more upset about the phrase that like he's tarnishing his legacy by continuing to play or something.
That's
probably the part that pissed him off because, like, yeah, I don't really think.
Go on, Andre.
I mean, the only way that a person can tarnish their legacy is by doing something actually horrendous or bad, or like cheating, or some players do stuff off court that are really bad.
I think Lance Armstrong maybe he tarnished his legacy a little bit.
Oh yeah. That one probably did that.
But like Andy playing with a metal hip and just trying his butt off to compete at the highest level he possibly can, like I just don't think that's remotely close.
But there was a thing on in general which Andy was also, I think, contributing to, which is like, I don't believe you can't keep asking me this question. It's like, actually, people weren't asking the question until you said I'm going to be retiring in a few months. So it would be negligent of someone in a press conference to not ask, what does that mean? If you like it or not. I treaded on eggshells a little bit with Dominic Thiem in like 6 weeks ago, when I was like, listen, a lot of people don't like this question, but I do want to ask it, basically. Is this the last time we see you in Estoril? Is like what I more or less said. And he was like, yeah, probably, yeah. And I have no problem with you asking me that question. And that was fine. But I was a bit like ginger, because I know how a lot of, professional tennis players don't like to be asked about. I'm not asking about tarnishing legacies or anything like that. But it's also kind of a question you got to ask in a way.
Yeah. Maybe it's just the fact that he already like retired once, and they gave him the whole ceremony, and then he kept coming back, and then he kept having to deal with those questions for like another 5 years. I don't know if he means like just in the press conferences or just like everywhere, like everywhere on social media, like every like unsolicited, like the stuff we don't see in like recordings. I'm not really sure where it's coming from, but like if you're a journalist and you've been assigned to like write a piece specifically on that, then I guess like you like kind of have to ask it, right?
Yeah. Isabel, then if you've got something to say, I mean, I know you like your Andy Murray, right?
Yeah, sure. I like Andy Murray.
None of us here are Murray haters, by the way. We're just.
Yeah, no, I've always liked him. And when it comes to his like, retirement or like people asking about it, maybe journalists weren't, asking him that question a lot, as you say, but I feel like we've been talking about his potential retirement for the last like decade. It feels, and maybe it's not that long, but like it's been a few years that we've been talking about it. So I imagine that even if he's not getting that question all the time, like he's tired of people talking about it. He's probably, he just doesn't want to deal with it. He doesn't want that to be like something that is in the discussion about him. So I sort of get why he's like, I'm not talking about this. Like, don't ask me.
Oh, by the way, we just saw a really good drop shot there.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah, Nicholas Jarry is down 2-6, 1-6 now.
Yeah.
Not looking good for the Chilean at all.
My number 1 in my number 9. Sorry, my number 1 would be insane. My number 9 in my
Damien just put out a tweet on Nishikori winning another 5-setter, so he continues to build on that
against
record
Gallo.
he has. Yeah.
Great representation from Canada.
Yeah, I guess most likely Ben Shelton for him next if Shelton beats Hugo Gaston.
What's Damien tweeting? What? Oh, look at this Hubie Hurkacz. Hubie Hurkacz has just tweeted this, by the way. Just a picture of himself smiling and a hello.
That's classic.
What's Damien tweeting, by the way, Vanch? What's he up to?
It's about Nishikori's 5-set record because he just beat Diallo.
Oh yes, that's famous. Yeah. So are they gone to a 5th set? Have they?
Yeah,
I think he won
6-1 Diallo in the 4th.
I see. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to a 4th. Okay. Yeah.
No, they're going to a 5th.
Or sorry, they're going to a 5th. Yeah, they just finished the 4th. Okay, yeah. So that's why. Yeah.
So that classic. Yeah. Nishikori.
Yeah.
But that Nishikori is very impressive, but it's probably a little bit.
I have to say, I think Diallo is like one of my biggest hopes for Canadian tennis on the men's side in a while, because I think he's got a better backhand than Felix. His forehand is a little shaky, but he can make it work. He's got a big, powerful serve. He moves well. I think he got some of the characteristics that Felix was lacking in the past few years, which is like more of like the defense, just staying neutral. So if you can kind of like put it together and just kind of like put it in his mind that he is good and he can compete, which I think is kind of happening just because of the results that he's been having, I think Diallo can be a really good player in the future, honestly. It's kind of really needs that like X factor. Yeah.
Andre, I don't know if you can you see the screen okay? Like, can you see what the screen I'm sharing? Yep. So I'm going to show you one of the
okay, wait.
I'm going to show you.
Right back.
You ready, Andre?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm going to show you on the screen one of the big Polish hopes for tennis right now. Can you see that? That's there you go. Look, so there's the big Polish hope for the future there on the men's side, at least.
It looks like that. A coach.
Slightly bigger hope than this one, but he did win in 5 sets eventually today. Hubie Hurkacz, so that's good. By the way, I have completely neglected the chat all night, and so I apologize for those of you that have tuned in. I can see, lol, Damien, plenty of comments here, but yeah, hopefully you're enjoying the show, and well, that means on serve in the 2nd set here with Marin Wawrinka. So Diallo, you're big on Diallo, Andre.
Yeah, I think he's a really good player. I think he just kind of needs to be a little bit more, take a little bit more risk, and but I think he's got a good attitude and he's got good technique, which for me is very important. Yeah.
I loved his match with Dan Evans. I think he beat him in somewhere in North America last year. Toronto, okay, yeah. I love that. I enjoyed that match. That was just after Dan Evans, of course, had won Washington as well. So it's like, okay, see what you're made of. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I spoke to Diallo. I say I spoke to him, with 2 of the others, very close quarters. Davis Cup last year. Okay. Let's see how that pans out, Andre. Well, we'll remind you of this in 5 years when things don't work out, of course.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be like, well, it's just a shame.
You still holding out hope for Chapeau, Isabel?
Not for years. Are you kidding?
I don't know. There's Wimbledon, and there's sometimes he makes you think. I mean, if nothing else, we've got that Rome thing when he tells everyone to shut the F up, which is kind of funny.
I mean, I don't want to say that I've lost all faith in Canadian tennis, but it's very hard for me to feel optimistic about Canadian tennis right now.
You got on a pretty good high after Bianca Andreescu, and then Felix did well, and then Chapeau started doing well. Then a couple years back, they just kind of got themselves figured out and found no answers, and Bianca just kind of decided that she wants to do tennis part-time. And it's like, what is happening now? Yeah.
Is Bianca playing tomorrow or Tuesday? She's playing sometime. By the way, I've just seen a pretty bad serve volley from Andy Murray, which I know you might go positively and say that that was unlucky. He didn't get over the tape, but he should be making that really.
We also have we had the brief high of Jeannie Bouchard.
Oh yeah.
Which only makes us forget about Milos just because he never won something actually really big. But he was definitely the best player in Canadian tennis history, aside from Nestor. Like in singles, not rivaled.
I mean, there was a Grand Slam in Milos, right? There was a sort of maybe a Grand Slam there somewhere.
In another age, yes.
Yeah. And Wawrinka breaks. I was just watching the backhand exchange here, just being ramped up, and I was going to say, who's going to win this backhand exchange? And ultimately, it was Wawrinka. So it's a set and a break now for Stan. Yeah, I see Jamori here saying about Felix making the Madrid final. Yeah, but I mean, it's a nice run, but I mean, did he play anyone? I mean, did he play anyone? I mean, they just kept retiring.
He beat Rude, but that was
Rude,
his only.
Yeah, great win.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll take it with a grain of salt when like 3 of your 7 matches were like walkovers or retirements. So it's a little rough.
Isabel, Sebi Korda. I just see him rolling around in the clay, and not because he's fallen over hurt, but because he's beaten.
Oh.
I mean, I like Sebi Korda, but that celebration's a little bit over the top, bearing in mind it was 6-2, 7-6, 6-4. I was expecting to see like a 5th set, like tie-breaking victory, but because he's rolling around
that often.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
I would love to see him do well at this tournament, because like every time I watch him, I'm like, why is this guy not like winning? Why is he not top 10? Like, he's so good, and then he just isn't.
Agree. The makeup is all there. The talent is all there.
There's such a pure technique on every stroke, really.
Yeah, I agree on the pure technique. Perfect.
So I don't know what he has to do to get to that next step, the next level, because like he could, to me, and I know that the numbers don't match up for this, but I think he is probably the best American male we've had in a while. I know the numbers don't agree with me. I know there's Taylor Fritz and they're actually winning things and whatever, but I don't know what I don't know what coach he has to get to just find the level that we all know he has, because he could easily be the best American on the men's side.
I agree. I think that
very frustrating.
Yeah. By the way, on a similar topic, if not exactly the same topic, I saw an article in The Guardian a couple of days ago about American tennis, which I like the headline, if nothing else, about stuck in the dirt. And it's about how basically, you know, American tennis and French Open, men's side anyway, has been basically stuck in a 25-year slump since Andre Agassi winning in Paris. So, and it doesn't look like it's going to be ending anytime soon. So Michael Chang, of course, also was representing America as well. So yeah, I think Chang won it in '89, and then Agassi won it in the '90s at some point. And of course, Jim Courier, of course, he was better on the clay than he was on the grass.
Yeah, I think this is like.
Anyway, I'm going back there. I'm going back. Sorry, I'm alienating you too, because I'm going back down yesteryear. Jim Courier.
It's a question I hear like from all like everywhere. Everybody kind of asks this question, like, what is wrong with American men on clay? They just aren't what it used to be. And I you know, since I don't play tennis and haven't ever gone through that process, I don't know what the tennis academies in the States are teaching. I don't know what style they're passing on to these players that, you know, is resulting in them not being able to kind of compete with any European, and not just on clay, but really on any surface. Yeah, I think it has something to do with yeah, I think it starts with the academies. I don't know what they're teaching over there. So
yeah, I think it's when you grow up on, no? Andre, what do you think? I mean, if you grow up on a particular surface, then boom.
Yeah, I think a good example of that is like Jari. Even though he's losing now, his game I think is more suited for like a faster course, but he's really good on clay. I think 2 out of his 3 titles are on clay. So I mean, you get some sort of affinity with like playing on a certain surface when you grow up on it. But I think aside from, I guess, the 90s and the 80s where American tennis was like really great, there was I felt like there was just like a lot of focus on like big serving, big forehand, and you know, I don't know, like it's weird to think about like American tennis. Why are they not doing well on clay? Maybe there's just not enough clay course and just don't get enough practice on it. And a lot of players in Europe just kind of play constantly on clay. Like that, this is just what they have often. So yeah,
I asked
in South America as well.
Go on as well.
I mean, Federer grew up on clay, and he was not a strong clay court player. He only won the French Open 1 time. And, you know, Venus and Serena did not grow up on clay and, you know, have more French titles than any American, I think. So I don't necessarily agree with that theory. I mean, it does work for some of the Europeans, absolutely, but I don't think it holds up with certain players. So I don't know that has a lot to do with it. And you had all these American players in the 90s and the 80s winning, and they also didn't grow up on clay. So I don't really know what it is. I think men's tennis had a style shift with Pete Sampras, and it's never really changed. It's like you said, like big serve, big forehand. And it worked for a while until the Europeans figured out how to beat that. And and the Americans just haven't, the American men, I should say, have not created a counter. So something has to change there, which is also weird because a lot of them will get European coaches now. And still there isn't like a real change in their style. So I don't know. But the American women don't seem to have that problem.
I mean, Ken obviously making the finals a couple of years ago, but I wonder.
Coco also made the finals.
Yeah, Coco for me is I don't know. This is the way I see it, Isabel. But Coco is a bit of an exception in that I think she is genuinely like. I think she's probably clay, hard court. Yeah, those are the 2 surfaces that she will ultimately excel on most. I think with Serena, I just think that she was just the best player in the world by a long way, and therefore, okay, she wasn't quite as successful on clay, but she's just going to win so often on clay because she's just much better than everyone else. So I don't know. That's the way I see it with Serena. When it comes to the men, yeah, or in general, if you grow up on a particular surface, and yes, your Federer point is extremely valid, but you know, he comes up against Rafa and that's that. And then he's just amazing. And maybe in Europe as well, maybe we play on a few different surfaces. Maybe we do generally play on clay in certain countries, but in Germany, for example, clay and carpet is a big thing. Carpet being a bit sort of grass-like. So boom, suddenly you're okay on grass, and hard is kind of in the middle. In the US, and by the way, in the UK to some extent, but in the US, it's kind of hardcore, and that's it, right? I guess. Are they like, yeah?
No, so I mean it is, but I don't know. I feel like we could just like continue like going in circles with this idea, and we're never going to have an answer.
We could, and I probably the best person to talk about this would be Jim Curry. And Jim Curry, if you're tuning in, of course you're welcome to join the live chat. I mean, I don't know if we'll get you on the show or not. We cannot, we've got Andre and Isabel and Vanch and myself here right now, so we might not have space for Jim Curry in this particular chat. But you can join the live chat, Jim, and let us know your thoughts. But yeah, he'd be a good one to have on with this, bearing in mind his clay court prowess.
I've gotten a lot of responses on Twitter from Andy Roddick whenever I tweet to him.
Look at you, Isabel, you and Andy.
I don't think he knows who I am, but I tweet enough about his podcast that he answers me a lot. So maybe I'll pose this question to him, and he could give some insight.
Well, the umpire has a camera mounted on his ear. That must feel so uncomfortable.
He has a what?
He has a camera, like a GoPro, like attached, like on his has a headset with a GoPro, like around here.
Oh.
I haven't seen that before. Is that new?
Probably. They're just sticking cameras everywhere now.
Did you see the most? Did you listen to his most recent one, Isabel, with the draw?
Yes, I did. It was very funny.
The reaction of his, oh my goodness, and the way he was going about it, doing everything.
Yeah. Well, and it was funny because like all of us who were listening, like we already knew.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, he did like a live viewing of the draw, and he started with the women's, and then when he got to the men's, he kind of kept saying like, "I need to know who Nadal's playing. Like, I can't. I need to know." And when he finally got to that section of the draw, before he even said, "Oh, there it is," like he just screamed, like he just full out went like "ah," and then he said a slew of expletives.
Yeah. He swears a lot.
He does swear a lot, but he said
Is this podcast explicit, or do they bleep it?
No, they don't bleep it.
Oh wow, explicit. That's how we like it.
Yeah.
Full on Andy Roddick style.
Yeah, and then he was just as shocked as the rest of us. And yeah.
And he didn't know anything about it going in, because even though it had already been out for hours, like he
probably locked himself out of Twitter just so that he would be able to like give his actual
I think he did,
reaction to it. Yeah. To go back a bit about the clay thing, I think that
sure.
One of the reasons why I would say maybe like being able to play on clay is different than other surfaces is just where you aim on court, and I think that there's a big emphasis on playing deep. And on clay, I think there's like obviously the depth of the shot, but also using side to side. I think side to side is even more important, I guess, on clay. So if you're just playing like deep forehands, just powerful and kind of going like with that technique or that idea, it might be something that you kind of have to get used to, just kind of like using a lot of spin to try to just like move your opponent in and out. So I feel like that's where the difference comes in, that you can hit deep all day, but other players would be able to just redirect that shot. So maybe that's one thing that it might be maybe not even like a technique or any like playing on hard courts. It might just be like a style of teaching actual tactics on court, which could be like a difference for Europeans, which kind of comes back to like what Isabel said before, which is that Europeans got Americans figured out and Americans never developed a counterpoint. It might have something to do with that tactic.
Vanch, I was talking to somebody earlier about a little bit about cricket, a little bit about squash, a little bit about tennis as well, and he's a left-hander, but actually uses his right hand when batting at cricket. And so sort of the opposite of Rafa being a right-hander who uses left hand to play tennis, if you like. And anyway, all sorts of different things. And one thing I started to talk about, and we talk about many different things, but was also the fact that Rafa could sort of pin Roger down to his backhand using Rafa's left hand towards to Roger's right hand. And I was like, he was like, but how did he do that? How does that? Why isn't it not the same other way around? Can Roger not pin Rafa down to his backhand? And other than the fact that I said that Yeah, maybe, but Roger was a bit more. Sorry, Rafa's a bit more comfortable on his backhand, perhaps in that particular moment, especially with that spinny forehand. Other than that, I wasn't really sort of making him understand how that dynamic was really advantageous for Rafa. If that makes any sense, Vanch.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other cross court exchange, like the forehand to the backhand, like that's something where you have to use like a lot of width and just get him like really far stretched, because like just like using the height over that part of the net, like it's just not at least with the way that Rafa hits his backhand. I don't think that's nearly as effective as like the heavy high RPM topspin that like Rafa hits cross court, which is like just gonna go way above your shoulder. So unless you're like 6'5" or 6, like you're not really getting a good strike on it.
Yeah,
because it's just jumping in this weird like arcing lefty way, where like pretty much like that's the only way you could get something short to attack, and then you could go with it. But I was watching some of their matches like 05 to 08 at Roland Garros, and he was also able to like attack Roger's forehand and then go to the weaker wing. And then I thought like that part gets overplayed a little bit too much, because eventually over time, like then you're just gonna camp out in the backhand corner, and you're just gonna be like, it won't be a surprise anymore. You'll just be waiting for it.
Yeah.
But it still took Roger like a while to figure out like how to, come over it like higher on the shoulder, like take it early on the rise. And then he went to the new racket change, and then after like a couple of years of testing and then like playing more offensively, then he finally like figured out how to take it a bit earlier.
Ljubicic, by the way, is kind of a bit not happy about how that 2019 semi-final worked out, which is a weird match to hone in on. Of all the Rafa, Roger ones, of course, he only started working with him from 2016, 2017. But he says that, actually, I think that could have gone a different way if conditions were a bit different, because it was super windy that day. And because I think that's the only loss that Roger had out of the last 6 or 7.
Yeah, that was the only one, 6-1 in the last 7. That was the only. Yeah. That was the only match, and it could have been a little different. Like the second set, he was up 2-love. Okay. There was just one game at 4-all. He was 40-love up, and then then after that, like he just.
It's just a funny one that he sort of mentions. I think it was in an interview with the Tennis Podcast where he just says, yeah, I'm still a bit annoyed about that, because I think it's like, wow, you turned I think with the sort of narrative, wow, how about the narrative being turned?
I think they were hoping it would be closer, and like he'd actually, I think they were hoping for at least a set or making it. That's why like a lot of people were favoring Rafa going into the Wimbledon match, because everyone was saying
I was there. I went there with
like,
Jamie,
and like Rafa has the edge mentally now, and like the 5-match win streak is snapped, and then
guilty.
Turned out it didn't matter at all. So
no. But there's that match will almost never get spoken about in terms of the whole.
Roger was quite annoyed in that match. Remember, like he hit that ball like out of the stadium, and like
that
was a rare outburst.
Yeah,
like
but Wimbledon or Roland Garros?
I'm talking about. Oh, okay. I'm thinking about Wimbledon now, but that 4th set at Wimbledon. Yeah. I mean, there was a game. I think it might have been Rafa was maybe serving to stay in the match, or maybe it was when Roger was trying to serve it out, and there was a bunch of some juices in there.
The final game.
Yeah, maybe the final game. Yeah, and Roger, Rafa could easily have broken in that game. And there was a really sort of low bouncing, I think, backhand that Rafa had that he put into the net, and
I remember that point. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rafa just.
Yeah, he was like really chiding himself afterwards, because he was really annoyed at that miss.
Rafa's so annoyed.
Yeah, and then you never know.
And then you absolutely never know. But yeah, going into that match, I was pretty confident that Rafa would win that one.
Yeah. Funny enough, I felt so confident about Federer winning that 2019 Wimbledon. Like I was like, he's got exactly what he needed. Semis of Roland Garros. He's won Halle. I'm like, he's doing it this time. He's going to beat Rafa and Novak. He's going to win it. And I was like 10 centimeters away. But but yeah.
Maybe it would have been the thing, like if Federer could play his backhand with the larger frame and his forehand with the smaller frame, he could have won that match.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
yeah, I actually think like there was a little bit of a trade-off. Like you're kind of right. Like the forehand.
Yeah, no, it
like,
became way less like precise.
Yeah, especially when you had to defend and like move to the right. I feel like he
agree.
He was a little half step slower, and like he couldn't quite.
Isabel, I know you. I think, Isabel, you're not really you were never a super fan of either Rafa or Roger, right? And I don't know how you view this particular chat. I mean, I remember talking to you, Isabel, just after Roger retired. I'm right. Are you not? Or maybe you were a Roger fan. I'm not sure. Tell me.
I think when Roger retired, I was on a live stream and I was crying.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, okay. I remember doing a live stream with you immediately afterwards.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I thought.
Sorry?
No, I remember doing one with you and Jack immediately after he retired. Oh, okay. So, okay, but I remember doing that live stream very well. But I just okay. So
no, I was a Roger groupie.
Got it.
I mean, I like Rafa too. Like, you know, all respect, all, you know, in awe there. But Roger was my guy.
Got it. Andre, I think Andre has slightly different affiliations when it comes to the big three.
Yeah.
but
I did cry a little bit when Federer retired as well in his last match.
I mean, that was
very emotional.
Yes.
Oh, Krejcikova lost to Golubic.
Well, we might see a different revanche now. I mean, who knows? I mean, he's San Diego Queen.
Well, I really wanted to see Krejcikova versus Iga in the fourth round.
I think Krejcikova winning a couple of matches, not because I'm on that train anymore. I left that train about 18 months ago, but just because I thought her draw looked very winnable for a couple of matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, a French Open champion just 3 years ago losing in the first round.
Mm.
I'm gonna leave.
Not hurt, you know.
I'm gonna leave you just for a couple of minutes anyway, but I'm around.
We should probably check back in with this match.
Oh yeah. Looks like Stan is about to go up 2 sets.
Pretty close, yeah. Marie's looking kind of dejected, I'd say.
Yeah. You get the feeling that he's going to need Stan's level to dip a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to kind of make it competitive. Krejcikova. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah, you're right. Krejcikova hasn't won a match since that 2021 run in RG. That's brutal. Wait, so before Roger, were you like a tennis fan ever? Like, did you have a favorite player before that?
Well, when he like started to become sort of big, which was what, like 2001, 2002, around there.
Yeah.
I was only like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old. So that was when I sort of came to consciousness with tennis. So I don't really remember anyone before him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, yeah. So he's kind of like it for me.
Yeah.
Because I just don't remember. I would have been too young to really understand like Sampras era stuff. And
yeah.
I do remember watching Agassi, and I liked him, but it wasn't the same with
of course.
that it was with Roger. So no, he's it for me. He got me into tennis.
That's your whole tennis watching life.
True. Yeah.
What about you, Andre? I think you had Querton before that.
He was like a kind of national hero in a sense. Like we didn't have as many number ones as the US, so when somebody comes up to that scene, it becomes someone special. So I knew about him, and I didn't get to watch much of him play because I was a child and I wasn't playing much tennis back in the day. But the one who really kind of got me into watching tennis, like to actually kind of like, because I was already playing tennis, like I wasn't playing in the clubs, and I was, I was enjoying just being on court. But watching tennis, it was Djokovic.
Okay.
Djokovic was the one who actually got me into watching tennis, and I was a big.
What year was that for you? Was that 2007?
2007, yeah, 2007.
That Canada run, probably, right? Or was it before that?
I was actually watching him in the US Open that time.
Okay, yeah.
But I watched some of his matches before. I have very blurry memory actually of those times. Basically, all I knew was that Federer was guaranteed to reach the final, and then Nadal was probably guaranteed to reach the final, but obviously guaranteed to win the French Open. So it was like kind of like that dynamic until like about 2009-ish or 2008 when Nadal won his first Wimbledon. That just basically broke the status quo in tennis. That match was heavily talked about. It was quite insane. Like everybody was just kind of in shock. It was as if like a war broke out. It was ridiculous. Yeah,
I'm super lucky because that is like the first ever tennis match I ever watched. 2008 Wimbledon.
Wow.
So I was like, after that, like, I actually wasn't really that hooked, like because I didn't have access to any of the other like tournaments. Like I didn't know there were other tournaments besides the majors until like 2011, and then my dad was talking about Djokovic, and he's like, you thought Roger was good? Wait till you see Djokovic. He's gonna be the next number one. This, that, and I was like, who? What are you talking about? Like I didn't know at that point, and then after that I got into like this whole YouTube hole, like rabbit hole, and I started going back, and then I like would just teach myself tennis history like in my free, like once I got like really kind of hooked to the game, that's when I started to learn, oh yeah, it was like Roger and Rafa, and then after that, like Djokovic won something in 2008, but he didn't really like break through until 2011. So then I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think those the two Wimbledon matches, the one in 2008 and 2009. The one in 2008, that's the one I remember like the most from like childhood, because I remember like where we were when we watched it, and I sat through the entire thing. And that was, I think, the first time I had really like was kind of like in awe and like raptured by it, because everything before that, like it was sort of, I was a kid, so if a long match was on, I would kind of get distracted and like go do something else, come back, watch Roger, leave again. But those two, like I was like, I can't look away from the screen. And that, I think, for me was the sort of catapult into like deep fandom, because I did sort of the same thing. I started like looking into tennis history, and I think YouTube started up in that same time period, so I was able to actually go and like look at other like older matches and other stuff. But yeah, those two Wimbledon matches was like the lift for me.
And I remember being deep in that Federer fandom after 2008 Wimbledon, and then like that Roddick match, I was just so nervous throughout the whole thing.
I didn't get to watch it.
2009.
Yeah, but then now looking back, I'm kind of like, oh, Andy deserved that one. Like I would have been happy for him if he won it, because like he so deserved a Wimbledon title.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch all of it.
I watched it. I spent an entire day watching it. Like I had to turn on the TV and watch it while having lunch, because my family wouldn't allow me to not sit at the table at the same time as everyone. So I just kind of had to like kind of peek it from the kitchen. But it was a very interesting final, because there were a lot of things kind of going around. It was Federer's breaking record over Pete Sampras' 14. But then also we had Roddick on the other side. It's like, this guy really deserves it, and he's playing the match of his life right now. And he I think he got a few. No, that was after 2009 that he got a couple wins over Roger, and it's kind of got him figured out in a sense. But
in the last match in Miami that he always talks about, he
exactly. But then Wawrinka just kind of really felt for him. But there was also this sense of like something really huge has happened as well, because Federer came back to Wimbledon after losing 2008, played another epic, and then broke Pete Sampras' record. It was special, but everybody felt so bad for Roddick because you kind of knew that that was the end, right? Like you couldn't possibly, at the time when everybody thought that players should retire at 30 years old. So, yeah, tough times, but yeah, definitely felt like if players deserved to win a Wimbledon title, those were Pat Rafter and Andy Roddick. Players who never did it, but definitely deserved it.
Yeah. I hope Ons Jabeur does not fall in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Murray going to the drop shot a lot more this set, says Jake. Yeah, he's hit 6 drop shots, winners. And look at that backhand pass.
Oh, vintage.
So I think this was the service game last time where Murray got his teeth into it a little bit in this first set. I think it was a deuce game, right? So now he has a love 30. So perhaps a half chance.
I feel like Wawrinka's just going to keep pouncing on the forehand now. Like, it's not going to try too much of the backhand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit behind on the stream, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, no. I feel like Stan's backhand hasn't been like the same like weapon that it once was, at least in this match. It's not, I mean, it's working fine, but like it doesn't seem to be the like winning shot that it used to be.
I feel like the forehand is still the one that does the most damage. Even though everyone talks about his one-hander, obviously the forehand is still going to be the main.
I think Stan it's probably not taking as much risk on the backhand anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs like that bit more of a, just to be more in the moment a little bit, like to be in the zone, to feel comfortable in order to hit those crazy shots.
Oh my goodness. Okay. 30 all. Oh man.
Oh, of course my feed cuts out.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the point because it didn't drop back on his over the net. Just went back on his side, so it would have given him. If that trickled over, it would have been break point.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
See if I can get it back.
Oh, and Stan comes up with an. Okay, wait. Actually, I don't want to spoil it. Yeah.
What the hell?
Ace down the tee, so 2 sets to love.
To the forehand, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we'll see if Murray can do something here and just.
Okay, for some reason, I'm getting a highlight of the Korda match and not the match that I actually clicked on.
Is that Tannis channel?
Yeah.
Maybe it just ended. That's probably why.
That's what. Yeah. I just. Yeah. But like why? But they were in the middle of a point. Like why did they switch?
Yeah.
Also, if I'm clicking. I'm not clicking on like main feed. I'm clicking on like the specific match. Tennis Channel just can't.
Okay, wait, let's see. Nishikori is up 4-3 in the 5th over Diallo.
5-3?
4-3, but it's on serve. Diallo serving in 3-4. Diallo was up a break, actually.
Was he?
Yeah. Nishikori broke back. Yeah, Korda won in straights. Jari is about to win the 3rd against Mute. So looks like that's going to a 4th. 5-3, 40-15 for Jari. Let's see what's going on the women's side. Clara Tauson beat Tatiana Maria. So we have Tauson against Ostapenko. Should be kind of interesting. We'll see. What are the other matches going on right now? Danilovic against Trevisan. Ooh, Trevisan is about to lose her first match. Danilovic, Serbian. I played mixed doubles with Djokovic at United Cup fame. Yeah, Trevisan, former finalist here. I mean, semi-finalist.
Semi-finalist, yeah.
Semi-finalist, yeah. 2 years ago, lost to Coco.
She was the on the bad side of that Sloane Stephens comment on a press conference when somebody asked.
Oh yeah. If it's not one scam, no, wait, no, that's a different one. If Sloane Stephens has a lot of iconic press conference moments.
She said like not Trevisan. Like
yeah.
That was for she was playing Coco in the semis.
Right, yeah. She's like, oh, definitely not Trevisan. Yeah, I remember that. Funny thing is, she's playing Yulia Putintseva. And in 2019 Cincinnati, when they played each other, like Putintseva was doing all kinds of stuff to get under Sloane's skin, and Sloane ended up winning the match. And then she's like, "If it's not one scam, it's another." And so that now they're playing again, and they have like a lot of history. They've already played probably this year. Putintseva won. That's in that mini like Sabalenka section. Oh man.
Jari's got a set point on Mute.
Yeah. So it looks like Nadal Zverev is at 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. So that's not too bad. I could get up at 6.
Yeah, we could handle that.
I'll get up at 6 for this for sure. I'm probably gonna
rather than 3 a.m. That's a bit better.
No. Yeah. It should get better in the second week.
Yeah.
In terms of the time zone. What else? Oh, Sophia Kenin beat Siegmund. So it's Kenin against Garcia. Plays the winner of Ostapenko and Clara Tauson.
What the? You're teaching me something here, Vanch. Siegmund lost to Kenin?
Yes.
But she was like winning like 4-love in the first set, and then she got over the line 6-4, I think.
Yeah, and then lost the next 2-2.
Oh dear.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Isabel, you and I are going against each other.
She's a friend of the show.
Yeah, Lower Sigmund.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I watched that Coco match.
I knew you were gonna say Coco.
I'm not walking back from that.
You know, the best part about it was when Coco was doing the on-court interview, and then she was like,
say?
You know, how would you describe this match? Was the question. I think it was Renee Stubbs or somebody. Yeah, there you go.
What did she say?
Oh, slow. She said it was slow.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I agree with that. It's like subtle shade. It's good. Yeah.
So Wawrinka's having a medical timeout. I'm just coming back from the pizza place.
Okay. Oh, is he?
Yeah, it would appear so. Yeah. I was getting mad at Tennis Channel for not showing the match, and then it's because of medical timeout. So I guess I shouldn't be mad at them.
Regarding Laura Siegmund, she's a character. She's a character. Andre, you're not on with this, on board with the Louder Sigma being a character. Yeah.
I don't really care too much about. I mean, whatever. I haven't seen the match, and the one thing that she kind of gets a bit on my nerves when she's playing. But it's just probably the attitude a little. But I remember when she was playing, when she plays doubles, she can get a little.
Was a bit of attitude. But does Danielle Collins get on your nerves as well, or because
I really like her. Like something in her is just kind of like. The attitude is just part of her, I guess, personality in general, which is just funny. I mean, it's just not funny in just the sense of like it's comical, but it's just like it's something that you can get behind in a way.
Yeah. I never asked Daniel this, but I was tempted to say, do you realize you're quite funny? Like I was tempted to just sort of ask that, but that's more of a one-to-one kind of question, I think. Yeah. But anyway, but Louder Sigmund, maybe she gets under the skin a bit more, and slow, She's obviously doing everything like that Coco match. I understand why that would annoy, if you want Coco to win, but Louder Sigmund is doing everything she possibly can to win that tennis match. Vanch, are you gonna? Do you see? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very much stretching the rules though. Like very, very close.
I can't get behind not following the rules.
I don't think most people were a fan of that day. Like it was too much.
Okay. What about the press conference afterwards though? Do you not have some sympathy for her afterwards?
I was not gonna get behind somebody who was very obviously stretching the rules, not being very respectful to Coco on her serve.
Just she knew what she was
doing. She knew what she was doing, and then crying in the press conference. It was not. It was not a good look. It did not garner any sympathy from me.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, I guess I could understand like the crowd, but like I don't know, like. You were really asking for it. Like a lot of the stuff you did in that match, it was really on the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an entertaining match.
It was an entertaining match.
Yeah.
I've seen other players do similar things, and I don't like it when they do it either. This wasn't like a just because she was playing Coco thing. This was across the board.
Svana here is saying go Olga in the chat. Is that because Danilovic has won a tennis match?
Yep. She beat Trevisan, I think. Or she was
winning. She? Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was wondering about that match. Like I think I might have gone Trevisan in the end. Did you do a bracket Vanch? Bold Vanch? Did you do a
Yeah, I did. I didn't have Danilovic winning that. I went with Trevisan.
Yeah, I went Trevisan, I think, but it was
but it's like it was a toss up kind of.
Yeah, but anyway, she won it comfortably.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had some nice chats with Danielle Collins this week, 2 or 3 times. And what I liked is the fact that I would ask Danielle Collins a question and she'd give me a 2-minute answer, which is great.
Yeah. She's very different off the court to how she is on it.
That was another one that I was tempted to. I didn't quite go that far with Danielle, but I was like, are you a different person off the court?
She would have probably said yes.
Yeah. She called herself, not to that question, but she called herself an introverted extrovert, I think, or an extroverted introvert, one of those combos, which I sort of get. I did get that. I thought, that's how I see you as being someone very outward in so many ways, but then in your moments, I can see that. We've got a Wawrinka break point here at the beginning of the 3rd set, which could be the death knell for Andy, especially regarding the French Open at least.
Yeah. It would be quite something if you got broken every game to start every single set in the first.
Is that how it's panned out? Has it been an early break and that's it, really? Yeah. I just feel as though Andy's going through the motions right now of he's even hobbling towards the bench right now. He always looks like he's hobbling though. He's been hobbling for 10 years.
There's that backhand that was.
Yeah, I know. It was lovely. It was lovely. Vanch, are you a one-handed backhand?
It does look nice aesthetically, yeah.
But are you but you yourself, are you
No,
one-handed?
no, I'm not. I don't use it. No. Yeah, in terms of effectiveness, it's really hard to.
Andre, what's your backhand technique?
I'm a two-handed, yeah.
Oh.
Used to be my best shot, but then I had a coach that tried to change the motion and became garbage. So it took me years to kind of get back to my old groove.
So you feel as though you got some bad coaching advice and it threw you off.
I did. I got some really bad coaching advice on just the motion of it, and it was just I just couldn't do it anymore.
I hit a one-hander for a little while, but actually my advice was to just hit two-handers, and I never look back really. I mean, that's not to say my two-hander's any good, but I sort of mix it between safe, block, and if I feel good, I like a good return winner, like on the serve. I'm okay with that, but that's probably the only time I get really aggressive on the backhand. Like just a neutral rally, I'm just staying neutral.
How is Damian's backhand?
Oh God, yeah, he'll talk all day about his backhand and how no, it's nothing special. There's nothing, and then that match. Honestly, we need to have. He thinks that 2-2 makes it like, and it was 2-2, and that's fine, and it's how it is. But we could have people lose 2-2, and then they end up having a winning head-to-head, and I'm looking forward to having like 10 matches against him. Put it that way. And the balls were nuts, super like not just they weren't even bouncing, which is perfect for him. Right, I've got some pizza here. What else? I see you munching on something, Vanch.
I've actually got some chicken kebab right here.
Chicken kebab? Isn't it breakfast time where you are?
No, it's like 1:30.
Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah. Are you and Isabel in the same time zone, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I got pizza. Andre, you're a bit closer to Europeans, right? You're probably about what you're like 5:30?
4:30. It's like New York.
Yeah.
It's just Montreal. It's not actually Europe. It's fake Europe.
Yeah, fake Europe. You fake European.
Basically.
You want to be cool. You want to be like, yeah.
They speak French here.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. How's your French, Andre?
I am fluent, yeah.
In Quebecois French?
In Quebecois French. But to be fair, though, like, I understand sometimes the Parisian and French from France a little bit better than some people in here.
Yeah, the last time I was in Montreal, I don't know any Quebecois French. I just know like sort of standard school French, and that's what I used whenever I would go somewhere in Montreal. And I found that nobody really was quite nice to me when I would do that. Nobody really liked that.
So many people here want people to speak French, but they get mad if you don't speak it correctly. It's like, what's the deal? I'm trying.
I see Wawrinka just hitting.
Stan is the one who had the injury timeout, but it's Murray who looks more.
Yeah, right. I agree. Yeah. Maybe it was just a timeout. I mean, by the way, that ball hit into the open court. It's just such a you do so much to run a ball down, and you get it back, and then you're like, what was the point?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there is a comfort level for Stan on clay against Andy. Like coming into this, he was 6-1.
Was it really on clay?
Yeah, on clay.
What's the record in general?
13-10 in favor of Andy.
Oh.
But I'm also including the one challenger they played here last year.
Oh.
Or last year the challenger.
Oh, they played that in Bordeaux.
Yeah, the Bordeaux one.
Do you get pizza in North America? Do you have that? It's a thing with like bread on
No,
the bottom.
I'm not sure we do.
No, I've never had pizza.
Yeah, it's just like, so it's a European thing. Don't worry about it. I'll let you know sometime.
They tried it in New York, but it wasn't very good.
The sausage and cheese.
I heard that New York didn't get its first pizza until like 1947. That's what I heard. I don't know where I heard it from, but that's what I heard. So there you go.
I feel like my yeah.
Go on,
Fun fact about Europe looking stuff, but that were born in America, is that Alfredo sauce is not Italian.
I'm not shocked by that.
It was created by an Italian, but in, I think, New York. So it's American.
That's about right.
It does. That point is weird. Just seeing this, I mean, he just Wawrinka just took that so early. If you know the point I'm talking about there, Vance, where Andy's just sort of shocked by it all, but just took it so early. That's a nice serve down the tee there.
Weird. I mean, Andy looks so flat right now.
Yeah.
Like there's just no.
Yeah. I don't think he believes anymore. For him, like, it probably was necessary to take that second set, but now it's just like, what's the point?
What's going on there, Andre? Are the tanks moving in, or
that wasn't here?
Was it you or who? Well, someone's tanks are moving in. I don't know, in Myanmar or somewhere. I'm just seeing that brick wall background, and I'm wondering what's going on. But by the way, we've got a double break now after Andy dumped that forehand into the net. I mean, it was a low bounce. By the way, I saw a lot of low bounces earlier in the Osaka Bronzetti match, which, aside from the scoreline, which was really up and down, there was a lot of wind and clay and stuff. And in fact, there was a break point that ended up going Osaka's way, where a load of clay went into the eyes of Bronzetti. Yeah.
That's what the tennis podcast tweeted, right? The clay in the eye.
Did they?
They got a lot of flack for that tweet. Did you see that? It was like they were talking about Bronzetti and Osaka.
They always get flack for a lot of things, so it doesn't really surprise me. But
yeah.
It seems to be probably a bit more in fashion right now to give them flack, maybe because they got so big. And what was the flack anyway?
I don't know. They thought, a lot of people thought they weren't being very nice towards Osaka. But like, I didn't see the match, so I don't really have an opinion.
But what did they say?
Well, okay, wait. I could read you the tweet.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. I have to find it. Where is it?
So
did they delete it? I hope they didn't delete it.
Well, I hope. I'm sure they weren't that bad enough to. Is there any tweet that we've ever sent out that we should delete? I don't think so.
I've had to do that a few times.
Oh, Isabel. Deleting tweets. I love that, by the way.
They all had to. It was just me taking shots at Noel Pham.
Yeah.
And then I had to delete them for my own sanity.
Oh, okay, yeah, this was the tweet. Naomi Osaka survives Lucia Bronzetti 6-1, 4-6, 7-5, but that match won't be striking any fear into Swiatek's heart. Osaka struggled immensely to find the court whenever the score got close, and was a bit fortunate that Bronzetti got clay blown into her eyes in the penultimate game. That's all. That was the tweet. So
yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. The only thing I would say about that last line, although I highlighted it myself, Osaka was easily the better player. I mean, so it's not. Listen, she was fighting Bronzetti big style in that third set, and hats off to her to get it back from 4-love to 5-4 in her favor. But the clay in the eyes thing is an interesting, flexion point if you want to focus on it. But no, but Osaka wins that match probably with or without that clay going in the eyes. But that wouldn't annoy me if I was an Osaka fan. So, yeah.
It was like one of those things where I don't know who tweeted that at some point. Maybe it was Roddick, but the point was Twitter is like, if you say you like sandwiches, some people are gonna ask you if you hate tacos or like something.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so I get that.
That's basically what it is.
But Osaka absolutely dominated the first set. More or less did the third set, but suddenly she's got this momentum going against her for whatever reason. She sprayed a few shots, and that happens, and suddenly she's down 5-4. And she even said in an on-court interview afterwards, is like, I felt like I was down in the third set rather than, basically up. So she did really well to win the match. From memory, and I've only seen it once, I think, and that was live, or maybe I saw a replay of it as well when it happened live. But the wind and stuff, the clay going into Bronzetti's eyes, it almost happened after the point finished, or as the point was finishing, if you like, after she took a shot. And it was after that she took a shot which hit the net. But it was a really tricky low. There was a few low bounces there as well, which was odd. But yeah, but listen, that's the tweet, and there's nothing bad in the tweet. It's not like why you should be annoyed by it. I don't think. There we go. Yeah.
Probably after the whole David Law Madrid thing that the Nadal Kachin thing is probably just very popular to pile on, right?
I saw.
I still can't believe that became so big. Like, it was still being talked about 4 or 5 days later. It was just like.
Well, I think even this week, I think there was an interview with Cash. Who was that? Who asked for the T-shirt? Not Cashin. It was
Cashin. Yeah, to Nadal.
Cashin, yeah.
Okay, can someone explain this drama to me, because I completely missed it, and then I got on Twitter a few days later and saw everyone up in arms about it, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, sure. So basically, it was Pedro Cashin against Nadal in Madrid. It was like this hard-fought 3-set match. Finished, Nadal wins it 6-3 in the third, and then once the match is over, they shake hands. Cashin goes up to Nadal and says, "Hey, you've been my idol. I've looked up to you for so long. Can you sign this memorabilia, this piece of shirt for me?" And then Rafa's like, "Okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it." And then he signed it. And then David Law goes on Twitter, and then he's like, "Sorry, but getting a shirt signed by the player you just played against ain't it," or something like that. It was like, he said "ain't it," which like rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, I think.
Yeah, what's wrong? I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, what?
Nobody does.
Nobody really does. But in his mind, like, he thinks that, like, if you come on the court planning to do something like that, you don't really believe you can win. And so he's like, that's not the right kind of mentality for a competitor to have, to be so in awe of their idol, to like not. That's like his argument. I don't agree with it at all. But like, that's what he thought. He's like, this just.
I mean, I feel like it was a really hard fought match. I feel like Kachin really had his
That's the thing. Like, if it was like,
never try to lose,
or if it was like really, really one-sided, and you're like, okay, yeah, he didn't really. Like, I feel like Kachin was good enough to like compartmentalize the two, and like he made it so close, and like he tried so hard, and like he's probably not going to have a chance like that, again. So it's like, but I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, like David was saying, like you wouldn't see any of those top players doing that, but I'm like, yeah, because they're top players, and because the situation.
Their idols are like people in the past or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, it would be weird if Tsitsipas got up to Nadal and asked for like a shirt sign. It's like, dude, you probably have his actual phone number. You could probably contact him off hours to talk about this, but yeah.
Well, I don't want to say that I was right about this match, but this last set seems to be a bit of a blowout.
Yeah, Murray had to win one of those first 2 sets.
Yeah,
that's what I thought would happen. He did split, or maybe he'd win a set. I thought, like, a lot of people asked me yesterday, like, you think he can? And I was like, I think Andy can get 1 set, but now I'm not sure. Of course, after that second set.
If he'd drawn someone else, do we think he could have had a better shot at making it through?
Yeah, it depends who it is.
Are we talking? Sorry, I'm just joining again. Was that Nadal we're talking about?
Murray.
Oh, Murray.
Right.
If you drew like, I don't know, who's like not very great at rolling errors. What if you drew like Adrian Van Riener or something? You might be able to be
maybe. But listen, drawing Wawrinka is not the worst draw, if you like. I mean,
like on paper, no. On ranking, no. But like, given their history, given like how much of a familiarity there is,
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, but you got to play. You're unseeded. You have to play someone.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling through David Law's tweets here. You can probably see me sharing this on the screen, trying to find the tweet that upset.
Just search it.
Like, I mean, you pretty much summarized anyway with those words. But
just search like ain't it or something, and you'll find it right away.
Say again. Search what?
You could just search it instead of scrolling all the way down. Like just.
Oh, okay. Like ain't it? For example, that was the.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think you'll find it. Like you have to go under David's, like on top of David's profile, and then. And then you'll get it.
Okay. Now I'm searching ain't it profiles. Yeah. See, this is. What are you? Are you Gen Z? I don't know what are you Gen Z, Vanch?
Yeah, I think I'm the start of it. I'm born in 2000, so is that Gen Z?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably.
Now I've gone back. Look at it. I'm putting ain't in. It's just not happening.
Well, but you have to search his, you have to search his post.
I'm sort of actually not 50-50 on this. I am more on the Pedro cash in. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was sorry, Pedro, asking for your opponent's shirt at the net, ain't it?
Oh, there we go. I've got it anyway.
Yeah, you got it.
There you go.
I've got it. Yeah.
Oh man.
And there's obviously Nick Kyrgios is there, but Damien's one of the many people replying, and
I think I did too.
I saw you reply. Yeah, I saw you reply, Vanch. Yeah, I saw that.
He actually replied back to me. He replied back to me and Damien.
Yes, I saw him. Okay. Oh, he responded to you too. Okay. I think David is coming from David. I'm calling him like I know him. I don't, but I mean, I think he's coming from a sort of football fan as well, kind of mentality that you don't do that in defeat.
Yeah.
But I'm 60-40 on it. There was the magician. What's his name? Who we know, Vanch. What's the magician's name? Yeah, you met in Seville, the Spanish guy.
Oh, yeah, Carlos.
I know he was a bit annoyed by it as well, and yeah.
Oh yeah, he was really annoyed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably
he's
more. Yeah.
He's probably seen Cashin's journey more than most.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, I just see it as like I think he was a bit annoyed with maybe potentially underestimating. Go on. Sorry, Isabel.
Wawrinka is just a game away from.
Yes, you're right. You're right. But while we just talk about David Law all night, yeah, good idea.
Talking about a different brick guy over here. It's impressive how powerful Wawrinka serve still is.
Yeah. And if he can maintain that and the backhand can still fire, he'll win matches. I think I mentioned it already on this stream, but listen, Wawrinka was serving for the match against Nicolas Jarry this year in Buenos Aires, and he should have won that match. And he possibly goes on to win the title in Buenos Aires, and that's like a unbelievable, moment towards the end of Wawrinka's career. And Wawrinka, by the way, was pretty sort of emotional as he goes off court that night, given all the recognition he was getting from the Argentinian crowd. It was quite nice to see Wawrinka during that South American swing, even if he only played 3 matches maybe between the 2 tournaments, because he went out first round, I think, in Rio. But I think he's also lucky to get Murray in the first round.
Yeah.
Nadal beats both of these players, I think. Vanch.
Yeah, he does. I think so.
Damien said when the draw was made, Nadal has 0 chance. However, look at that forehand winner from
I think now he's backtracking on that a little bit.
Yeah, he's backtracking a little bit. He is backtracking.
Did he say 0? 0 is like...
He said 0. Well, 0 means 0, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, what does 0
chance
mean?
of winning the tournament, or just
0 chance of being Zverev?
Winning the tournament. Okay, yeah.
No, Zverev, being Zverev.
Oh, okay, 0. 0? No, I wouldn't say 0.
0 chance of beating Zverev. Okay, that's a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah,
bit low.
Andre, I think the 0 is a little bit low. I don't worry. Yeah.
I think Nadal will pull out every like micro ounce of grit that he has, because I think he would rather die than lose in the first round.
Yeah,
the French Open. So he might win it just on,
spite.
That yeah, like spite, tenacity. People seem very divided on it.
He's got to lead from the front though. He's got to break early, or he's got to get that first set somehow and then go from there.
I actually think the first set is really important. Like he has to win the first set.
Zverev wins the first set any way, shape, or form. Yeah. By the way, but I'm not saying 0. And by the way, 0 became 10, and then 10 became 15, and before you know it, I mean now it's like 60-40. I mean, yeah.
Maybe after the Nadal press conference, some people
up.
I think because he was talking about how he's finally able to move without any limitations.
Yeah.
So then they were like, "Oh, okay,
that's promising." That's actually kind of a big claim. I mean, you're probably going to be looking at that like very, very intently.
And then I think also the practices, right? Because he was beating
Nishikori. He has won that 5th set.
Yeah, he did 7-5.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry to piss on the Canadian bonfire, but I mean that's just the Nishikori story, right? 5 sets and Nishikori wins.
Yeah, but that's actually amazing because he's been out for forever.
I know.
Since Atlanta last year, and then before that he was out. He's barely played any matches the last 3 years.
Is PCB back in this tournament? By the way, did I see Carreño Busta just appear in the draw?
Yeah, he is.
He is in the tournament? No way.
He is in the tournament, but he's...
Did he get a protected ranking entry?
I think it was a PR, yeah.
Yeah.
Who does he play? I don't.
He's got. I think I have him going out in the first round, but it is winnable. But
oh, he plays Navone. Okay, yeah, that's.
Yeah, he's losing that.
By the way, Jari is about to go out. Wow, 5-0 Mute. 5-0.
No way.
That's wild.
Fourth set, eh?
Fourth set.
Andy Mo's about to go out. Andy Mo's about to go out.
The thing about Jari, man, he's like
hot and cold.
8-8. He's 8-8 this year against players outside the top 50, and then he's 3-2 against the top 10. That's Jari for you. I bet Juan Ignacio will not be happy at all.
I still think Juan Ignacio is more of an eager fan than he is a.
Oh yeah, of course. But he actually watched. I was surprised to hear he's watched like almost every single Nicholas Jari match.
He is a bigger fan of, I guess, women's tennis in general, but he was very big on the Chileans doing all in Rome, which I think
Rome. Yeah. I've never even had a verbal like communication. I mean, we've had a few WhatsApp voice messages, I think, but I've never had like a phone call or a stream with him at all. Even though he was there in doing stuff for Talking Tennis in Chile during the the Mute Zhao match in Chile was fun.
Mm.
Vanch, you're not a fan of this sort of this mute vibe, you know that.
No.
What was it? David Law in the tennis podcast call it. They call it. They've got a word. They've got a word. Go on.
Oh no, I was mostly just laughing because you were like that was fun, but then I was about to say probably not for Juan.
Oh.
Oh.
No, right, yeah. I just saw a ball hit Wawrinka. Anyway, he's got 2 match points. Magnus Norman, by the way, who's like 58 years old or something like that, but he looks like much younger.
Yeah.
I certainly, I think we all need some of whatever he's taken. So 2 match points here. Stan Wawrinka. Down the tee, backhand return. Maybe Isabella's already seen how this pans out. I'm not sure. Slide forehand there from Andy. Backhand from Andy. Backhand winner from Stan Wawrinka. And, well, bye-bye Murray, as Jake says. Yeah.
Oh, they're having a nice moment at the net.
Oh, man.
I'm not there yet. I'm still at 40-15, but I'll get there. And I'll enjoy it.
I'm a few seconds behind Isabel, but not much. But yeah, I'm seeing it now.
Both Gasquet and Wawrinka hitting a one-handed backhand winner.
Yeah. Look. There's the tweet, Vanch. There's the tweet. You ready?
Right, I'm sending it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's yours alone.
Should I just tag Owen just to annoy him? Yeah. Okay.
Tag who?
No. Tag Owen just to annoy him more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 6-4, 6-4, 6-2. Honestly, I know some people here may have been saying this could go 4 or 5, but that is probably what I thought would happen. I was actually a bit worried about a 4th or 5th set, and just in terms of how pedestrian it might become. Now he plays the doubles, and then maybe Surbiton next week, and then Wimbledon, and then the Olympics, and that's it, I guess. But that's Andy Murray and the French Open done, I think. Look, that wave is that's that. Yeah, I mean it's not quite Rafa Nadal legacy French Open led, but yeah,
it was a sweet moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Wawrinka is still clapping. Actually, I feel like they both shared trauma together because of that 2017 match.
Well, and they're friends, I think.
Yeah.
I remember
that Instagram post with like a teddy bear or something.
Yeah. After his hip surgery, Stan and Donna Vekic sent him like a gigantic teddy bear. So yeah.
How are we looking, by the way? Have all the matches finished pretty much for today? Because if they are, that's
no
I
way,
think there's
right?
only one left for the men. No, 2 left for the men. Jerry and Altmaier. And Money and
Shari's basically done, right?
Yeah, Jari is done. Yeah, we lost Jari today.
Oh, that is done.
And we lost Tabilo.
Done.
So we lost both our. We lost 50% of our Rome semifinalists.
Oh, both Chileans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tabilo as well. Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like we got 4 matches.
Malajan won in straight sets. I didn't see that one until now. I mean, I guess that's good news from Mute and the. So we've got Altmaier against Jeddah. We've got. I'm not talking about this broadcast. I'm just thinking about last ball drops. We've got Offner against Altmaier. What are the other two?
Then women's side.
On the women's side, are we done?
Not yet, but they're in the final set. You got Wang Xinyu against Julian Niemeyer. Niemeyer's up 3-love in the third, and then you got Katie Volinitz and Alexander Krunic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one is almost done. Volinitz is up a double break in the second set.
Okay. Well, Tabilo is Canadian apparently. So Ghost Sandler, has he got some Canadian blood in him, or I don't know?
Tabilo is Canadian? Wait, really?
Yeah, but Muto is the future apparently.
I'm just.
Well, listen.
Wikipedia.
I don't know. This is what. Oh, has he got some Canadian blood?
No. There he is. So Alejandro Tabilo Alvarez was born in Toronto, Canada. His parents were Chileans, settled in North America in 1988. He obtained dual citizenship, traveled to Santiago when he was 18 years old without speaking Spanish. But he decided to move to Chile afterwards.
His English is like really good. That makes sense. I'm really jealous of the people who can speak fluent French or English, or I mean French and or Spanish. I wish I could.
Do you have But Vanch, do you have an additional language?
Yeah, I can speak Hindi very fluently. That's my first language.
Do you have another language, Vanch?
Yeah, Hindi.
Well, that's great. That's
yeah.
Well, there you go. You got almost a quarter of the globe covered with those two languages, right?
Yeah, but I feel like if I learn Spanish outside of school,
Andre, you've got Portuguese, right?
Sorry. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we lost John.
Sorry, my internet dropped. Anyway, we were talking about languages and Vanch being upset because he can only communicate on a mother tongue level with like a quarter of the globe. So, yeah. Anyway, as I finish this, and I see Alex Corretja, one-time French Open. I think he won the French Open once, right? Alex Corretja.
Finals.
I'm looking at you, Vanch. By the way, Alex Corretja won the French Open once, right?
He made the final.
2000, right? 2000.
No, he made it twice. 2001 and 1998. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he won it twice. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It was lost to Curtin and Moya then.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, he lost to Moya 98, Curtin 01.
And Moya won it once, I think, right?
Yep, the following year, 2002.
No, Moya.
Anyway.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 98, yeah.
Okay, well, on that bombshell, I think it's time to bring this Wawrinka against Andy Murray show to an end, but also Andy Murray's time, I believe, at the French Open. I'm pretty sure that we won't be seeing him in Roland Garros again. And we look forward to seeing Andy on the grass, whether that be in Surbiton if he does go out early in the doubles, or a little bit beyond that in Queens or elsewhere, but that's still to come. Andy Murray, of course, is out, but Stan Wawrinka marches on to the second round after a 6-4, 6-4, 6-2 win today over the Brit, and he will be in the second round against someone. Do we know who Stan Wawrinka is going to play in that second round, by the way?
Yeah, either Cameron Norrie or Pavel Kotov.
I've got Kotov winning that, by the way. But is that tomorrow, that match?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Yeah. So, yeah, there we go. Isabel, big thanks for joining us today.
Sure thing.
Sorry that we couldn't prolong the Andy Murray farewell a little longer,
I mean, we still have Wimbledon.
That's the farewell, right? That's the if which we do expect it to be, maybe even with more conviction than they do with Rafa. That's the farewell. This is from now. Now begins the goodbye Andy Murray story, if you like. Whereas Rafa's sort of goodbye begins as soon as that sort of dirty clay gets under his feet. Whereas I think that's where we are now with Andy. So we've got hopefully a few more highlights of his career still to see. Andre, by the way, big thanks for joining us today.
No worries. Thank you for having me again.
all that clay as well, right behind you as well. Right now we're in the brick dirt clay, which is perfect given the background that you have, which will be relevant for another couple of weeks at least. But we want to see it throughout, and that's great. Cheers, by the way, as well, Ghosty and Elam and everyone else who joined us. We will have last ball drops with Nick and Mario. I think it's going to be coming up very, very soon to have a look back on the first day's play. And of course, Vanch, our friend Vanch, who laments the fact that he's not a speaker of various different languages in Europe, but he does have a native tongue which covers a quarter of the globe, which is not enough for Vanch. Vanch wants global domination.
No, yeah. I want to be fluent in either one of Spanish or French, but I'm afraid maybe that will never happen. We'll see.
We will see. Watch this space. And in the meantime, make sure you do the following, which hopefully I'll get up on the screen pretty soon for you. And in the meantime, do this, and we'll see you all very, very soon.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.